If you've been a fan of Minecraft for a while, I'm sure that you recognize these books. These are the official Minecraft handbooks, also known to some as the sacred gaming texts. These books were an absolute holy grail to all the 4th graders, with at least a month's worth of holds on all the copies at the school library. But do the tips given in these books still hold up today, with all of Minecraft's new features and updates? We answered this question in the last video for the Combat Handbook, but today we'll actually be taking a look at the Construction Handbook. Just like Combat, building is not my biggest strength in Minecraft. Now that I think about it, what is? With this in mind, my end goal for this video is to just improve my building skills in some way. Whether that ends up being a lot, a little, I seriously don't care. I'm just tired of all my houses looking a little something like this. So for this video, I'll be going through the book and pointing out certain sections, and I'll even be following some of the book's tutorials to make my own builds. This version of the book was released sometime in 2014, so we'll be using the 1.7 version in today's video. I've mentioned this in pretty much all of my past videos, but 0% of the people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. I know that seems ridiculous, but you know, the statistics don't lie. So if you do have a minute, consider subscribing because it's free and it helps me out. And you can always unsubscribe if I do something dumb. Just like any other book, the Construction Handbook starts off with a nice table of contents. Unlike the Combat Handbook, everything in here seems at least mostly normal, aside from no escape. I don't even know what that's going to be. After the table of contents and the introduction, we get to the first instructional part of the handbook, titled simply Wooden House. But this isn't the type of wooden house I know, this is some next level stuff. I really like how the bottom level of this build is cobblestone. It really fits well with the oak wood in my opinion. Keep in mind that at this time, the wood in builds weren't very diverse. There was of course other types of wood like spruce and birch, but oak was mainly the one that got used. This handbook is actually laid out in a very interesting way, with advanced builds being shown off directly after a tutorial page that explains how to build a scaled down, simpler version of the advanced builds. This format shows just how complicated and insane Minecraft builds can get, even back in the older versions. After the so-called wooden house comes a section about gardens and the different things you can do to spice them up a little bit. These pages are actually really cool. They give some great ideas that you don't see that often. One of the ideas for a garden was a hedge maze, which seems very cool. I don't see things like this in very many builds, so I'm definitely going to be including that in the house that we're going to be building. The book also suggests a fountain, wooden porch, and a swimming pool. Now that we've read this section of the book, let's take a look at the wooden house and yard that my collaborator and I ended up making. So here we have the house that we made. So we were originally going to go with just a smaller version of the house shown in the book, but we went with a different design. I still like the one in the book better, of course, because it's bigger, and I think the cobblestone works a lot better in the one with the book. But this one isn't half bad either. You've got this like deck around here. It goes over to the back. Overall, I think it looks nice. If I was on like an SMP that I needed a house on, this honestly would be up there for the picks because it's very simple and easy to get blocks, and it still looks very nice. And as we go inside, you'll realize that it's also very practical. So I decided for this center part, I could have gone with an enchantment table, which I probably should have done in retrospect, but I thought this like crafting table pillar here would be kind of interesting. As you go throughout this base floor, it's just full of chests and furnaces, you know, some ender chests. Very basic Minecraft necessities. I think what a lot of Minecraft houses get wrong is they're too big, and a lot of it is just empty space because you can't really decorate too good in Minecraft. But I think this house is just the perfect size, where it's big enough to be cool from the outside and the inside, but there's still just enough space for the right number of chests, and you could add more chests here. I just wanted it to be symmetrical and, you know, pretty fancy. As you come up the stairs, you'll see that this is the top floor, kind of the bedroom area. We didn't fully decorate it. I could have added some paintings, and it's not properly lit up right now, but I kind of like the mood lighting. Here's an enchantment table, a maxed out one. I went with like this rim of oak here hanging on the roof, which is kind of a recurring theme in this floor. Again, I don't think it's great in the center. I think it belongs downstairs, but I do like the overall design of this oak thing. And here's the bed, just a basic design. We went with this interesting pattern with the smooth stone. If you come out on the balcony, I mean, there's not much to say. It's a balcony, and there's like a secondary balcony over here. We were going off the book where they had the double balcony, like 2 separate balconies in this little glass, like, sunroom. But the glass sunroom on the book's house is twice the size, which makes a little more sense. This just looks like weird, like why not just go outside? But I do like that there's 2 balconies. I mean, in theory, we could have split up this to be like 2 rooms here. I think it would be cool to have like 2 bedrooms, you know? If you come down back to the main floor, you can go out these doors here to the backyard. So we used a lot of the stuff recommended in the book, of course. If you come back this path that I was talking about, this little like sort of decking pathway thing, it leads to this, which is like the porch. And we got this this design for like a little bit of a barbecue here with a little, you know, stove top. Here is a pool. We went with a similar design as the books, same blocks in the same positions. I just didn't get the stairs because I thought that was a bit small, but you know, you still can get out. You don't necessarily need stairs. Here is our hedge maze, which I'm not very good with making mazes. I think it's kind of a skill you need to be able to make a good maze, but I mean, it's a hedge maze. There's not much else to say. If you come back, I think this is it. No, it's like... Oh, here we go. The book recommended having a fountain in the center, but we didn't go with that because we didn't really have enough space. And then, there we go, a little fishing dock over there. Plushie's over there fishing. I think, honestly, the layout of this is good. The house, of course, I know I'm kind of tooting my own horn, but I think the book did a good job. You know, the back looks nice. You don't need this back deck thing. You don't need a pool, of course. You don't need this hedge maze. But honestly, it's a good little estate, a good little property. It has everything you need. It's got this river here, or this little like pond, lakeish area. It leads out to the ocean. Of course, the boats in 1.7 kind of suck, but you know, regardless. But yeah, I think just this sort of estate, this whole area with the house and the yard, I think it's very practical. Like, it does have some cool design aspects, but it's very cheap. You know, this is all just cobblestone and oak wood, very cheap. You know, the materials for this, even if you're just starting out in Minecraft, getting all these materials would probably only take like an hour. Yeah, I think it's very survival friendly, very SMP friendly. You know, you can come outside, hang out with your friends, have your friends do the hedge maze. Yeah, honestly, I think the book did a very good job with the house. I like it. So that was our wooden house, but let's go back to the handbook. The next section tells us about castle-style walls that Mojang recommends. The author's reasoning behind this wall is the fact that you can use it to keep your build safe from hostile mobs and enemy players. Honestly, props to Mojang. This wall would definitely be as safe as they're making it out to be. Make sure to stay till the end to see our rendition of this castle wall. Next up is the Royal Hall. My thoughts on this build are all over the place, because while the interior looks very nice, the exterior is pretty meh. I really appreciate the use of carpet here, as well as the windows that are laid out very well. But to me, that just doesn't dismiss the fact that the exterior walls and the roof of the building are very flat and simple. I may not be in a position to critique here considering my own building skills, but I just don't think this Royal Hall would work very well as an independent building because of its exterior. It would probably look very good as part of a large castle, but Mojang's interpretation here just doesn't do it for me. Sorry, Mojang. By the way, if you take a look at the previously mentioned build showcase pages, you'll see that they're all from the old Minecraft build team, Fire UK. In fact, this book was actually written by the team, which I actually didn't know until now. Next in the handbook is the suspension bridge. The author labels it a 2 difficulty, but honestly this thing looks really complex. It looks like something you'd see straight out of a Stampy City World Tour back in 2013. It's a pretty massive build, and because of that I don't think we'll be doing it ourselves. Next is a build that the book titles Floating Island. Yeah, this one seems pretty straightforward. It's pretty much just a floating island with a castle type building on top. I'm a fan of this one, but I'm not really a terraforming master, so getting the overall shape and texture of this lower portion seems like it would be very tough. Regardless, I definitely have a Minecraft home up in the sky. Last but not least, we have the epic roller coaster. It's pretty simple, Basically just a normal 2014 Minecraft roller coaster that you would probably build in creative on your Xbox 360 or whatever. There's not too much going on with the book's interpretation of this classic wooden coaster, because you've probably seen something like this at least 20 times in your childhood. With this in mind, the authors do give a couple cool ideas to spice your coaster build up, namely the daredevil drops and the half pipe. Now, let's take a look at Plushie and I's coaster. So here we have another recommended build that was in the book. Roller coasters, especially like wooden ones like this, you don't see getting made too often in Minecraft's current state. We also combine this with the castle wall build, or just like the castle theme that the book recommended. We went with the exact same design as the book. It has these daredevil drops that the book recommended. So if you see Plushie right here, drops down that way, drops down, and he keeps going. It's perfect. I think it looks best on an incline here. But yeah, overall, I think the roller coaster's cool. I mean, we were kind of lucky to have this setting for the roller coaster, like with the hills. But yeah, just a roller coaster that goes in circles in like this wooden type. Very underrated in modern Minecraft. I want to see more of these guys. Okay, so here's the roller coaster. And so, of course, you start here in the castle wall. You trigger the start. We go up here, which is very similar to how the it was shown in the book. Come down through this little bit of a snowy area here. This is like a big, like, very high up. Here is like the daredevil drops, as they called it. Kind of slow, but still cool. You drop down again. Keep going. You go under that big thing, which I think looks sick. Through this cave. Over there's a little cave diorama. Come down here, and then you kind of have to flip this if you don't want to go around again. And here we are. Big thanks for watching this video. By the way, we did put a lot of time into scripting and recording and editing this. So again, like I mentioned in the beginning, do consider subscribing. Also, make sure to go check out Plushie's channel. He's on his way to 1,000 subscribers. I know he would appreciate it if you did that, if you went over there and, you know, subscribed. That'd be really cool. But yeah, overall, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time.
I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along.